Hey guys, the show's gonna start shortly, so just give me a few minutes. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to On Point Politics, and today we're going to be doing just a stream basically covering the road to 10K, and we're going to be covering some news that we got from today that I already covered from my video from today. But if you guys are tuning into the show, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure to follow Twitter and join the Discord in the description down below. And so, guys, pretty much as of right now, Biden and Trump agreed to two presidential debates. And what's pretty interesting about this is that this is a very unconventional move from both campaigns, because the first debate is on June 27th, and it's not even by the actual election commission. It's by, the news organizations themselves. And so it's going to feel a lot like the DeSantis Newsom debate. I don't know if you guys kind of remember that, but that's what the vibe I think is going to be a lot like. You're going to see very one-sided coverage. I mean, the debates are always one-sided for the most part. And so pretty much as of right now, it's a big problem for Biden, because the reason why he's doing this, he's only recently said, as of today, he hasn't even spoken at all about this until like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago on the Howard Stern show. He actually said something about debating Trump, and then today's when he finally proposed something, because he realizes that the average is not looking so great for him. He's down 2.7 percentage points in the national aggregate. He has a minus 16.3% national approval rating. He hasn't been in debate for about 4 years now. And to give you guys context, in May of 2020, May 15th, he was up by 5.4 percentage points. He was well up on Trump, leading up to this point in the cycle, and he actually went on to expand his lead. This was kind of after the whole BLM stuff started occurring, and the coronavirus got a little bit worse during this time. And that put, a lot of, that put Trump's campaign really in a tough spot. And now we can see Trump is ahead by almost three in the aggregate. And right now, Biden's approval rating currently sits at 40.1%. So it has gone up, a decent amount since the other day. And Donald Trump's favorable, if we look up Donald Trump's favorable on RCP, he's sitting at 43.1%. So that's actually, if we were to do the math there, that'd be exactly a +3 national environment. And if we were to go ahead and fix that in my model, we can see that it'll probably change the model slightly, but not necessarily a whole lot. Let me see. Don't try to tell me that New Hampshire and Virginia are a play. That's simply stupid. Well, unfortunately for you, you know, that's that kind of is the case. Minnesota and Virginia are theoretically in play. I mean, if you look at polling data, if you look at where we are in the national environment compared to 2020, they are definitely not, toss-ups. Like, they're not, states that, I would put gray on a map, but they're definitely in the lean Democratic column on a battleground map. J. Eclipse says, "What's up, on point politics?" Limpid Arch says, "What's up, my slightly American Andrew Tate?" That was pretty funny. And then we also have how fitting. It's late at night. I have an internship tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. and I'm drinking beer. Okay, then. And we have on point. My dad will call in at 11 p.m. And then what about New Jersey? Well, the thing with New Jersey is the polling there, we've only had one poll, so it's a little hard to gauge, but the the result there was a +16, state for Biden, and the latest poll with third-party candidates only has him up by 5 percentage points, which is a 12 point, not 12 points. It's like an 11-point shift from the margin in 2020. And Biden was actually overestimated in New Jersey, in 2020. So that's also not good for him either, that he's gotten underestimated there before. That's not going to really be a good look, at all. And so if we were to go to the map, hopefully they updated the aggregate in New Jersey. You could see it's listed as a likely state. You could see the only poll they have here is a +7 poll, which I don't know why it's +7. I guess they don't have the five-way race for whatever reason, but it is a five-way poll, with, the third-party candidates. And, Trump usually gets overestimated. Let's see, could New York be in play? I think New York's going to be closer, but I don't think it's going to be relatively in play. Currently, my model has the race at, if we actually look at the model, it actually has the state as a 14-point victory for Biden. And that's if Trump's probably winning the national popular vote by like 2 to 4 points. So I don't really think the state's going to be in play like that unless something, drastic ends up happening. Brian Quench says, "Can you please email me your popular vote model? I want to play around with it." Well, I could actually, you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin your message, and I'll look into sending you. Do you have a public email on your YouTube account? Because that's what I'll look for on your YouTube account. Trump 2024 for the win, I hope. Well, he's looking pretty good, guys. I mean, he's looking fairly solid in all of the swing states. We're actually going to go through what my model shows, and I'm going to kind of break this down. By the way, guys, if you guys are not subscribed, you have to subscribe in order to chat in the chat room. Now, I've made it that way on purpose so that if people are tuning in and whatever, they have to subscribe to chat in the chat box. That's the only way that they're going to be able to chat in the room now. And I feel like that's going to be the best thing for now. Guys, by the way, for all of you guys that are in here, we have a Discord server that you could join in the link in the description down below. And we're actually going to be, doing a call-in stream. So if you want to call in and kind of voice your opinions and we can go back and forth on certain things, you know, I kind of want to you know, I kind of want to go do a back and forth thing. Ben says we will throw a celebration if Trump wins. I also subscribe because I want watching your videos because I was watching your videos. Be good luck. Thank you. Appreciate it. Conservative American Politics or Conservative American Prediction says hi. Red Politics 1776 says Trump is looking great in Minnesota. I mean, The polling has it relatively competitive. However, I don't think he looks great. Like he's not ahead there, like per se, but he's definitely looking better than I would have expected. Like a lot better than I would have thought. He in Minnesota, he is ahead by 5 points without Kennedy. So Kennedy actually hurts him in Minnesota for some reason, which is quite interesting. And in a two-way race, according to McLaughlin, he's ahead by 3 points against Trump. Even the latest Survey USA poll, which, tends to skew very to the left, actually has the race within 2 points, which is really interesting. It was kind of the February March polls that kind of had Biden leading pretty big there. Even if you look at the Kennedy matchup, Biden's at 40, Trump's at 36, so that'd be Biden plus 4. So if you were to kind of put this in an aggregate, he would only be leading by a couple of points. Me and my best friend get hype when Trump is winning. Well, I really hope that he does end up winning. I think it's for the country. It's going to be great if he ends up winning, just because of the fact that we need to stop these foreign wars. We need to get the economy on track. Even if he's not the perfect candidate, in terms of, the American electorate, I still think he is the far, the very superior option to the incumbent that we have now. I think he is doing far, like it's just it's way better in my personal opinion. That's what I'm thinking. However, at the end of the day, we're kind of going to have to still play around with a couple things, and we're going to see where the pieces fall. However, I think Trump's in a really good spot to win. If you look at my model, the RCP aggregate has Trump ahead 2.7%, Biden's approval rating minus 16.3. If you look at the favorability ratings, the thing with favorability ratings, Brian, I just saw your email, so I did catch eye of that. Do you think he's going to keep his lead for the next 6 months or so? Well, the thing is that the problem with Biden is that he fell for Trump's trap, because the thing with Trump, here's the thing. The polling will probably get closer as we head into the election. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because the fact that early voting is going to start. And so people are going to be voting. And I feel like since Trump's base is more enthusiastic to vote than Biden's, I think a lot of Trump voters are going to start voting early first, which I would advise all of you to start voting early. So what's going to happen is, since the, debate in June is going to take place, what I think is going to happen is, when early voting starts, Trump's actually going to lose steam in the aggregate, because a lot of Trump voters are going to vote early and not answer the polls, kind of like how Democrats did the same thing in 2022. Democrats started voting early in 2022, and the polling started getting narrowed up because of the fact that those voters were already polled. So, or they already voted, so why would they answer a poll after they voted? Does that make sense? So what I think, it's going to happen in the opposite direction. So I think the polling for Biden will get better, but it'll kind of be an inflated margin, because of the fact that that's super inflated, because I think Biden may gain some ground, but I think that it is going to be a 2022 like reverse scenario, where lower propensity voters are typically Trump supporters this time, and a lot of them are not going to be accounted for in the final aggregates, because a lot of them would have voted early. That's just my opinion on the scenario. Did you see the clip of Vivek talking about the New York case? I did see that. It was pretty interesting to see. Hey, look at LT's video about this debate. It's so funny, especially the title. What did he say? What did this guy say now? Man, what a guy. Let's talk elections. Let's see what he said. Wow.
Hey everyone.
Wow. 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 He's literally doing tricks on it. Wow. He's literally doing tricks on it.
The
This is
future
crazy. Are you serious? There's no way he actually. Wow. Wow.
is not just going to happen.
This
You have to make
this is incredible. This is honestly incredible. I don't even know what to say. Wow. Are they actually bombarding his comment section? I hope they are, because this guy's wrong. Dude, I honestly want to debate bro so bad. It's not even funny. I would honestly debate him anytime, anywhere, any place.
And if you
Like
want a successful business,
I
Welcome
really
back
would
to
do
today's
it.
video. Today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, and today we're going to be talking about the 2024 presidential election in September, and President Trump has agreed to doing both. And the September debate is one that is a little bit later down the line. We haven't fully seen that scheduled out. Now, Biden and Trump agreeing to these debates I find to be very interesting because it has been almost entirely on President Biden's terms. He set out when the debate was going to be, where it was going to be.
Okay, but here's the thing. You see, this is the funny part. This is the funny part, guys. This is the part that he doesn't understand. He simply does not get this. He truly doesn't understand this at all. The reason why he doesn't understand this, I'm gonna talk about this. Guys, he Biden agreed to do a debate in June before early voting. Early voting helps Democrats in a lot of races. John Fetterman won because of early voting. Gretchen Whitmer won because of early voting. Josh Shapiro won because of early voting. Biden won because of early voting. It's just the truth. If there was no early voting, no mail in ballots, Trump probably would have won the election pretty easily. He probably would have ended up holding on to everything. It probably would have been the same exact map. The margins could have varied, but he probably would have ended up having the same map. Guys, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. We are literally 81 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers. So if we could go ahead and do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you guys have a friend that hasn't subscribed yet that you think would enjoy this content, make sure to go ahead and tell them to hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And so, guys, he's agreeing to do a debate before early voting. And so if Biden ends up losing that debate, which usually historically incumbents always lose their first debate, even if, because Red Eagle has said, oh, it's not going to be that much of an impact. That's true, but it's still going to hurt Biden nonetheless if he ends up making a really, really bad mistake. And I see a comment says, to be fair, I think the fact that CNN's hosting will be tougher for Trump. I actually think it's going to be a better look for him because what's going to happen is that everyone's going to see how glaringly obvious it is that they're biased against him, that it's not going to rub people the right way. If we looked at the results here, we're going to see states like, Hawaii are still safe, but 17 points, Connecticut, Delaware, all of these are safe. Washington, Oregon, they're still in the safe Democratic column. So you got a lot of states that are still safe. New Jersey is actually listed as a likely margin. So we are going to touch those in a second. But I do have a couple of more safe states to touch upon. New York is going to be safe. It is currently a 14.5 percentage point victory. Illinois is not, however. It is a 9.4% win according to the model. And if we look at Colorado, you're going to see something similar, 7.9 percentage point victory in Colorado for Biden as of the current aggregate right now. Florida and Texas are actually, Florida's a 13.5 percentage point win, Texas is 13.3. So they're pretty big victories. And the polling has Trump up by 9, 10 points respectively in both of these states. So if he gets underestimated by 2, 3 points, that kind of lines up with the polling data that we actually have out of the model, which is pretty interesting. Even if you look at Wisconsin, right now Trump's actually ahead by 1.2, and usually he gets underestimated by 6 points in both elections. And the model currently shows a 7.2 percentage point victory in the state of Wisconsin for Trump. So that also aligns with historical polling errors as well. If we look at New Jersey, it's actually listed as an 8-point victory for Biden. DC would be safe for Biden. He shouldn't debate until he picks a VP because whoever it is, he could point to them and say how much better they are than Kamala. That would be funny as well. I just saw we did, 2 more subscribers. I greatly appreciate that. Oklahoma for Trump. We said Jaded McSwag says almost 10K King. Yes, we are almost there. 79 subscribers away. I really want to try to hit it now. So if you guys have not hit the like button, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button. Whoever is here, make sure to go ahead and just hit the like button. And people in the chat, you know what actually? You know what I might do? This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm gonna do, guys. This is gonna help. All right, guys. So I just gave. All right, I just gave 3 people mod access. So 3 people should be mods right now. So every once in a while, just type in the chat. Make sure to hit the like button. That's literally it. And check chat. Just make sure everything's good. So close to 10K. Just hit the like button. Thanks, Ben. Alpha Mapper says, by the way, I see you're Hispanic, Hispanic to Trump. And what country are you from? Well, I'm from I mean, I was born in America, but my parents are from Nicaragua and Guatemala. So that's where I'm from. Hot take, but I think New Hampshire would go red before Minnesota. I think it's the opposite. I think that Minnesota goes red before New Hampshire. I think it's trending to the left even more so than that state. So I actually think that Trump's got a better shot in Minnesota as of right now. And so we come down to sort of the swing states here. We can see Trump's already with 219 safe electoral votes, which is already pretty fascinating. And we come here and we see North Carolina. It's a 9 point victory for Trump, which would align with polling data. Because if we look at, for example, North Carolina's aggregate here, he's ahead by 6.1. Trump tends to be underestimated by 2 to 3 points in North Carolina. That would match up with the 9 point victory that is suggested by the model as of right now. If we were to look at Georgia, it would be classified as a likely state. It would actually be classified as a 7 point victory. If we look at the aggregate in Georgia, Donald Trump's up by 5.9%. So it's within kind of the margin, sort of like it's within the realm of possibility. It's only a point off. So that is within the margin of error. If we look at the state of Arizona, we're going to see Trump's up by 3.4%. The model suggests he wins by 5.8. So again, within the margin of error of 3.5, so to speak. Nevada is a state 7.7 percentage point win as of right now. The aggregate is 6.8 within the margin of error as well from the model. And so, guys, do you do you do you think throw a party if Trump wins? I mean, yeah, probably. Vance would lock up the Rust Belt states. I hope he picks Tulsi Gabbard or JD Vance for VP. I like Tulsi's story being a military vet and a former Democrat would help pull a lot of former Democrats such as myself to the conservative side. I mean, we'll see. Um, Hi Andrea, how you doing? I still got like 80 something more to go, but I am almost there. So I hit the bell for good luck. Thank you. I see we're at 9,923. I think I might keep going until I hit 10K. I might just go. Andrea, if you could get a couple people in here, I would greatly appreciate it if you could get a few people in here because I am trying to actually hit it. Who do you think I want? Who do I want? Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at math. Let me see. Who do you want as the VP? Not gonna lie, I think I'd probably who would I want as VP? Not gonna lie, Vivek was always my number one choice for VP. But I think out of the realistic options, like assuming Vivek doesn't have a shot at being the VP, not gonna lie, I wouldn't be mad at a Marco Rubio. I wouldn't be mad at that because he's gotten a lot better, and I think he would have kind of helped Trump really shore up the Sun Belt. And I think Trump's already built a reputation in the Rust Belt enough. And Marco Rubio has some appeal in like Minnesota and some in the Rust Belt and like in the Northeast a tiny bit. So I think Marco Rubio wouldn't be the worst pick, to be honest. So that wouldn't be necessarily the worst pick for me. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at math. Oh yeah, that's right, I read that already. But Andrea, if you could get a couple people in here, I would really appreciate that. Rubio's too short. All right, come on. Close to 10K. Please subscribe. I hope Vivek is the VP. My dark horse pick is Glenn Youngkin. I think Glenn Youngkin would be all right, but I don't think he'd be the best pick. If you look at Wisconsin, 7.2, again, I already explained with polling there, the state of Wisconsin right now, is a 1.2 percentage point lead, just like the RCP aggregate. And guys, if we look at 2020, we could see he was up by 8.4% according to 538, and Biden only won it by 0.63. So that's like an 8-point miss. And right now the model has it at 7.2. So again, within the margin of error of possibility. I mean, compared to the aggregate, the Wisconsin model is well outside the margin of error from 3.5. But since the Wisconsin errors tend to be so large, we're kind of using that extrapolation for this state, since the errors always tend to be over 5 points. So that's what I'm kind of using right now for that. If we look at the state of Michigan, Donald Trump up by a tilt margin. Biden was ahead by 7.9%. Biden won it by 2.8%. That's a 5-point miss. Donald Trump is up by 0.7%. The current aggregate has it as a 5.7 percentage point victory. So that kind of aligns with the polling errors from previous cycles. If we look at Pennsylvania, we'll see Trump's up by 1.8. In the aggregate, Biden was up by 5.1. He ended up winning it by 1.2. That's around a 4-point miss. 1.9. If you had 4 points, that'd be a 5.9 percentage point victory for Biden. He's winning it by 6.2. So the polling errors tend to are pretty spot on with this. Like, if you were to get the 2020 polling errors and apply them to these states, the model is pretty in line with that. So I hope that kind of adds some credibility to my model of where the states could possibly be coming up to the election. We still haven't even filled out a couple of traditionally Democratic states. New Mexico is a 1.1 percentage point victory for Biden. It's barely a lean Democratic state as of right now. We can see, a lot of new comments. Vivek focuses too much on the culture war and probably some independents who are more economically conservative. I think Vivek would be good, to be honest. We just gained a subscriber. Thank you for whoever just subscribed. I'm with Mike. She'd help get some suburban women who are on Trump's weakest demographic. Have you seen the clip of Ann Coulter telling Vivek she would not vote for him because he's Indian? I think I did see that. It's pretty messed up. It's bad for Biden when you get your YouTube ads of Obama begging you to vote for Biden. I just got one. I've been getting those too. Rubio wouldn't be a bad choice. Don't know why people don't like him. Plus, I think he'd be the Republican nominee in 2028. Ugh, that I don't know. I don't know about that. That would be a little bit iffy. Um, yeah, that's it. Well, plus Rubio never turned his back on Trump. The only time was against in 2016 because he ran against him for president. When is the call on point? I mean, I'm probably gonna do it at some point. I'm gonna wait for more people to join the Discord so we have like a wide variety of guests that I could call in. Tulsi Gabbard is better suited as Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense. That's a somewhat decent opinion. Um, Okay, so we do have a couple of people in here, but I do want to wait for a little bit more. Ben Shapiro for 2028. Oh no, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm not, no, definitely not. Um and we keep going to the state of Virginia. That's a 2.2 percentage point win for Biden, which is where polling kind of has a state overall. And if we look again, if we look at general polling, if we look at Virginia, Biden, is up in the state. He probably, if you were to average this out, he'd probably be up by maybe 2 to 3 points. And in 2020, he was up in the aggregate by 11.8. He ended up winning it by around 10.1. And so if he was up by 2 or 3 points, maybe even four in the aggregate, possibly, again, polling errors match up with what my model suggests, which is pretty fascinating. If we go to the next couple of states like Minnesota, we'll actually see that Donald Trump, theoretically, if you were to aggregate this out, I think they'd be tied. I might actually figure that out, but I think they would be tied in Minnesota, believe it or not. And Trump's actually ahead in Minnesota, according to my model. He's winning it by 0.7%, winning it by the skin of his teeth right now. And actually, I'm going to do the aggregate just to see how would that even come out, because I'm actually curious to see how that look. +5 +0 I'm gonna do the Kennedy poll as Biden -4, and then -2. February is already too old at this point, so we do. Yeah, look, it's literally a statistical tie in polling. Like the average would literally have the state as a tie. I might actually update that over here. Like if I go to Minnesota and I look at the polling data, I actually need to update that. I don't know why I had it at -5.5. See, that puts it a lot closer. That actually puts it as like a 0.8 percentage point win. So that shifted the average a tiny bit for Donald Trump. So he is, in fact, winning the state of Minnesota according to my model as of right now. And it kind of matches with polling data because if you look, he was basically tied there and he ends up winning it by 0.8. And if we look at polling from 2020, we'll see that Biden was up by 9.2. He ended up winning it by around 7.1. So it's like a 2 point error. So this time the error could be slight, but it's within the margin of error from polling errors for previous cycles. Once again, Tyler Adlai says facts don't care about your feelings. Okay. Um, what's on your opinion versus Shapiro versus Owens? Honestly, about Israel versus Palestine, I'm not like too into that, so I honestly wouldn't know what take to give, but I don't know. I definitely have to look more into it before I actually give a take. Any news for a PA or New Jersey since last week? And that rally was really close to Philly. Trump first one actually landed there. I mean, the polling looks good for him there. He's been leading quite a bit. Byron Donalds as Florida governor would be amazing. I would love that. That'd be great if that would happen. Guys, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We are 75 subscribers away from 10,000. I may try to pull this off and actually try to stream as long as I possibly can. So if you guys have a friend, that hasn't tuned in, make sure to go ahead and let them know, hey, he's 75 subscribers away. He would appreciate the sub. He's trying to hit it tonight. So if you guys could do that, I would greatly appreciate it as of right now. Let's see here. Um What's my Twitter? It's in the description down below. You can look for it there. Montana looks like Joe Biden sniffing Idaho. What the hell? Do you think New Jersey would be somewhat competitive this election? I think it's going to be closer, but I don't think it's going to be within the realm of being competitive to the point where he could flip it. I don't think so. He's the one who changed me a conservative. Oh, wow, for real? The VP will have a chance at 2 terms, a 12-year GOP administration. That would be good. Unless the VP is not that great, then I would kind of probably have a problem with that. We see we only have a couple states left. If we look at Maine, what's actually funny about Maine is that Biden actually led by 13 points here, and he only ended up winning it by 9.1%. And Trump here in the aggregate would theoretically be up here by like 3 points, maybe. He probably would be up by 3 in the aggregate, and Biden got overestimated there by 4, and the model actually still has Biden winning it. So that's the one state where the model is currently differentiating from the polling. But I think the state is going to trend massively to the left because I think that white voters are going to shift massively to the left in general, like at least trend to the left. So I think that wouldn't be that much of a surprise. Nebraska is second. Is a 1.6 percentage point victory. It has been redistricted to be more Republican. However, I don't think it's going to be enough for him to win it by over 5. And polling does suggest he'd win it by 3, but the aggregate clearly understands that this state, the district is trending to the left still. And that's going to put the district in a much different scenario. New Hampshire is interesting because it is actually a tilt Biden margin. As of right now, Biden's only winning it by 0.8%. This is a state, that Biden won it, by a pretty decent amount. And what's actually quite funny is that the polling data is not really going to align with what I have too much. I mean, if you look at January, Biden was ahead by 3 points on Trump. Haley was ahead by 3, but then DeSantis was down by 9. And if you look at, but however, if you look at this new Kennedy poll, Biden would theoretically only be up by one when looking at the different percentages here. Biden would be up by 1 percentage point in the state. And if we look at the 2020 aggregate, Biden was severely overestimated in New Hampshire by almost 4 points. And so that would put the state relatively competitive and in play according to historical voting patterns. Okay, we just gained another subscriber, 74 subscribers away from 10K. Can you do an electoral map of the 2040s or 2050s? According to me, I could probably do that. Trump wins all the battlegrounds plus New Jersey plus New Hampshire, New Mexico, Nebraska second, Minnesota, Virginia, and Colorado. I don't know about that. The Israel conflict may affect New York City voting this year. It may not be enough to flip, but I think it'll be a big hurt on Dems. If GOP people get some good candidates, some of those New York seats may flip. I think that's a possibility. I actually think that's a genuine possibility. For sure. Minnesota, New York, New Jersey. I think they could become swing states in the future. What I think is going to end up happening um in the future, and this is going to be theoretically for like a national, sort of environment, so like a tied national environment. So if you guys are looking at this, assume this is like a tied national environment. So let's say, like, theoretically in the 2040s, both of these, are running in the 2040s. So let's say that's the hypothetical scenario, right? So I'd say, the Republican states mostly stay the same. I think that these would end up staying Republican. I think Indiana's Republican, West Virginia, Missouri. I think Iowa and Ohio would be safe. However, I think Louisiana would actually be a likely Republican state going into the future. I don't think it would be a state that'd be within five, but I think it would actually fall under 10 points. I think Florida would be likely Republican. I don't think it'd be safe, and you're going to see why. And California, I still think would be safe Democrat. I think that more than likely that's actually going to probably be the only safe Democratic state alongside Colorado at this point in time, but that's about it. And at DC, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont, they'd still be safe Democrat. I also think a state like possibly Connecticut would be safe. I think Rhode Island would be safe in a tied national environment. Washington would be likely, in my opinion, as well as Oregon. I think these states nationally are going to become a little bit more competitive in the 2040s. I think Alaska and Hawaii are quite interesting because I think they're actually going to trade spots, and we'll kind of go over that in a second there. Nebraska at large and Nebraska's first would be safe. I actually think Nebraska's second would probably be a leaning Republican district in the future. I think they're going to redistrict it to the point where it's just always going to lean Republican no matter what. And I believe that a Maine at large would actually be a more competitive state. I think Delaware would fall in the lean Democratic category. It'd be a state that Democrats would still be holding on to, but I think they would become competitive in the future. Same thing in New Hampshire and Maine at large. I think these would be, probably lean Democratic states going into the future. I believe that the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania would be far gone for Democrats at that point. I think they'd be far gone. Maybe Wisconsin would be. Michigan, Pennsylvania would probably lean into Republican columns, as well as Minnesota by that point. And we're going to keep getting closer. I think Virginia is going to end up being a likely Democratic state in the 2040s. I think it's going to be like around a 6 point victory, for Biden at this point. That's what I'm kind of thinking it is. And actually, I'm going to free up Kansas. I think Kansas will probably be likely Republican again. 5 to 10 points, probably closer to five. It'd probably be like a 7 point victory in a tied national environment. And more than likely, you'd see a state, like South Carolina start to narrow up a little bit, and you'd actually see South Carolina and North Carolina actually trade spots. I think North Carolina would possibly end up being safe Republican by the time we get to the 2040s. I think the whole Make America Great Again movement's actually going to move the state quite to the right. So you're probably going to end up seeing these trade spots. Now, Georgia's interesting because we were under the preconceived notion that it was going to shift to the left, but it may or may not. Like, it was kind of weird because of African American votes, but I think long term African Americans are going to start shifting more Republican, whites are going to shift more left. So I think this is going to stay a swing state, Possibly it's going to be lean Democrat just because of the white suburbs. I think are actually the white vote. I actually think is what's going to shift the state enough to the Democratic column. I think North Carolina, maybe it's not safe, but it's probably going to be like a 8 or 9 point win on a normal day, for Republicans by that point. Um, New Jersey, I think it would be pure toss up. I think New York would be a likely Democratic state. In a tie national environment, probably be like a 6 point win. Illinois would be a lean Democratic state on the national level. I think that Hawaii would actually be toss up at that point, and I think Alaska would be lean Democrat. I think Nevada would be likely. I think Arizona would be likely Dem. I think New Mexico would actually be a lean Republican state as well in this timeline. And I think Utah would start becoming a little bit more competitive alongside Texas, Hawaii. So this is what I think the 2040 map would look like. I think Texas in a tied national environment would probably stay Republican. I think Utah would probably do the same. Hawaii and New Jersey would probably stay Democrat. So this is a map that I think would probably be plausible in the future. You'd end up getting a 298 victory for Republicans, to 240 for the Democrats. And this is roughly what the map would be looking like. I know it looks weird, but this is what I'm projecting would be happening, in the far future. As of right now, I think, let's look at this. Virginia may actually turn a corner, especially if Glenn Youngkin ran for president and won. I work with a guy from Maine. He visits back a couple times a year. He says Second Amendment is changing that state to more and more GOP. That'd be interesting to see that. Last time a Republican won New Jersey in an election was 1988 when George H.W. Bush got the election win. That is true. We are 9,927 subscribers, so we could keep the streak going. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it as of right now. Oh man. All right, guys. We are still, quite a ways away, but we are getting close. We are getting pretty close here, guys. We're getting pretty close. When you do a 10K special, I will 100% do a 10K special, and I believe there's actually going to be a pretty astounding guest for that show, so you will see that in a bit. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I was just messaging a couple people for a second. Um, Texas also getting a huge influx from the Silicon Valley. That is true. The problem with the Rust Belt in the future is that Trump may be one of the only candidates to do good enough in the rules. Nah, I think that Democrats will probably lose ground there nationally. That's just my opinion. If you see a Democrat do like pretty good, like if they're winning the popular vote by 5, you could see them winning Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Nevada, probably. And more than likely, you'd probably, see them even win like South Carolina, or something like you'd see them win South Carolina. They'd probably win Nebraska second. So it would look kind of weird, but this is what theoretically what a +5 environment I think would look like in the 2040s. I think for, going into the future though, going into the deep, deep future, for, +5 Republican environment. So let's say the environment's +5. I think that more than likely Georgia would flip. I think Alaska would flip. I think Illinois would flip. I think New Hampshire and Maine would probably flip in that scenario. I don't even think Arizona or Colorado or Virginia or New York would even flip in that scenario. So you kind of see a weird map where New Mexico trends, ridiculously, in a certain direction. That's just my personal opinion, as of right now. What was the state? There's three electoral votes on here. That should be blue, but I can't. Oh, okay. This is supposed to be. Okay, that's supposed to be there. All right, guys. So let's see. Thank you for the compliment on the hat. We are 9,929 subscribers. I think I might actually keep going. Commander Emperor says the sun is with you. And actually, bro, you know what? I'm gonna make Tommy Lee mod because he literally donated like $50 the other day. So I'm gonna make him mod. Um, Commander Emperor, I'm actually gonna make him mod as well. So you guys have mod status now. Let's see, that's because he understands unions. If manufacturing continues to decline, they may lose all influence. 2030 census map may change that area. That is true as well. Did you? Da, da, da. I did hear that Trump is going to debate Biden on that day. I did hear about that actually. So, oh yes, that could happen. I might try to stay until we hit 10K. I'm literally 70 subscribers away. I may try. Biden has to agree. Guys, if you guys have not subscribed, make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are almost there. We are so close to that margin. We are right there. We are literally about to hit. We're about to hit it, guys. We are really, really close. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could go ahead and do that. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to open up the floor for people. I'm going to start the call in portion in a second, but what I am going to do right now is I actually have to attend to something really quick. I have to attend to some laundry really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys in the waiting room for now. I just saw we are 70 subscribers away. I'm going to put you guys in the waiting room really quick, literally for like a minute. So don't leave. I'm still continuing the stream. So don't leave. I'm literally about to just do this for like literally a second. I have to go attend to something really quick. I will be right back. All right, guys, I am back from that. I'm gonna go ahead and look at something really quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put myself in the call-in stream chat as of right now. So let me go ahead and try to do that really quick. All right, hold on, guys. Let me figure this out because I'm gonna have to hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm not leaving. I'm just gonna put myself in the room really quick. All right, so Ronnie Ray gun. So all right, so basically, all right, there we go. So we're good now. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I have my other computer. I'm gonna be able to drag, people from group chat to group chat in the rooms, in order to be. And so Ronnie Reagan, I'm gonna put you in the call-in stream first. So hello, how you doing? Ronnie Reagan, I'm gonna put you in the call-in stream first. So hello, how you doing?
I'm doing
Ronnie
okay. How you
Reagan, I'm
doing,
gonna
man?
put you. I'm doing good. Can you make sure to go ahead and mute myself in the
Doing okay.
background
How
because
you
I
doing,
hear my
man?
stream? Can you make sure to go ahead and mute myself in the
Doing okay.
background
How
because I
you
hear
doing,
my
man?
stream?
Yeah,
Can you
hang
make
on.
sure
All
there
right,
it
hang on.
goes.
So I'm trying to figure out what channel I'm supposed to mute you on. Just give me a second here.
No, just mute my just mute my YouTube.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Okay, all
What's
right,
going on,
perfect. Yeah.
man?
No, nothing much. I'm just here, obviously we're here live streaming almost 10K. We're getting really, really close. Literally
Yeah.
70 subscribers away. So we'll see if we can hit it today. Hopefully I can. I'm going to try to stay on here as long as I possibly can to hit it. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let people take the floor and we'll kind of discuss, their electoral maps and where they kind of think the election is standing out right now. And I'm going to fill it out for everybody on the screen. So if you want to start with the safe red and blue states, you can go ahead and do that as of right now.
All righty. See what we got here. No, YouTube's telling me to do stuff, so hang on a second.
Okay. All
Sorry.
right. No, that's fine.
Um, let's see here. So where's the map available at, sir?
Well, it's gonna be on my screen, so you're gonna have to see it on my screen as I fill it out. But,
Oh,
for
okay.
example,
Gotcha.
like what states do you think would be like safe red and safe blue as of right now? Where do you think that would kind of fall?
Um, I think safe red is the basic safe reds you usually have, except you gotta add Texas to that,
Okay,
where you
so you
usually have
think,
it.
what are you using for safe, by the way? Because I use +10 for that.
Texas is definitely a +10 this time around. There's no
Okay,
doubt about
well,
it.
all right. And then like Iowa and Ohio, you think would probably be +10 at this
I
point.
I would I would at that point too,
Yeah, South
certainly.
Carolina, Alaska. What do you think about
Yep.
Maine's second congressional district? It voted for Trump by 7.4 percentage points in 2020. What do you think about that district?
I think that'd also be safe.
Okay. What about Florida?
Florida would be about, I'd say 7 to 8 at this point.
Okay, so you think
Not
Texas
sure
is
it'd
gonna
be
vote?
safe.
You think Texas is gonna vote to the right of Florida? I originally thought Florida was gonna vote to the right of Texas, but since the border issue is such a prominent issue this cycle, I actually think that this is probably going to be one of the last times Texas actually votes to the right of Florida. So that's just my
I
opinion on that.
you might be correct, but the thing is, about Texas is, Democrats been trying to turn it for a while. I mean, they got, quote, "close." Problem is that, Texans really don't like to be told what to do by a bunch of leftists. Use at least most
Right,
of them.
right,
That's not gonna turn. It's gonna
right.
be I say Texas 9 to 11. That's why I put it safe about 10.
Okay, all right, that's pretty fair. What about the safe Democratic states as of right now? What do you think those would kind of lie in at this point?
I think your normal I think your normal portrayal of it is correct, except I'd say that Oregon's not safe anymore. I think it's likely. I think New York is now likely.
So
I
you
think
think okay, so
Jersey's
you think like California would be safe, Washington would be safe, or do you think that's likely with Oregon?
so Washington's safe, Oregon likely,
Okay.
California safe.
Okay, and then like Hawaii?
Hawaii is definitely safe.
Okay, what about Colorado?
Colorado's a lean at this point.
You think it would be lean Democrat?
I do. I think it'd be lean Democrat. They never had a huge lead to start with, and there's a lot of people there that aren't really happy, especially
What do you
from
think
the
about Illinois?
Illinois is a likely. It's not
Okay.
safe anymore.
What do you think about New York? You think it would fall under 10?
I think New York will fall in their 10, yeah.
Okay. And then like for the rest of the Northeast, you think like DC, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont would probably be like safe Democrat those?
Those are safe, definitely.
What do you think about like
Yeah.
Connecticut and Delaware, Rhode Island, New Jersey, like those states?
Those are more towards likely, and I'd actually say New Jersey might turn a little bit, but those are all likely.
You think they'd all be likely? Okay, so I'm gonna fill all those out as likely. And so we can see here, what do you think about like Virginia, for example? What do you think that kind of lies in right now?
I think that's lean.
Okay. And what about New Hampshire and Maine at large, as well as Maine's first, by the way? We forgot to fill out the Maine's first district as well.
So Maine first, is that Portland?
That is not Portland. That is a plus
So
23 Biden
okay.
district in Maine.
Okay, so the plus 23 Biden district will go down, but it'll still be safe.
Okay. And what
Uh,
about
Maine at large will tilt to Republicans.
okay, so you think you vote for Trump. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about New Hampshire?
New Hampshire, Trump's not going to win it, but it will be 3 to 5 points.
3 to 5 point. Okay, so
Three to
like in the
five.
lean
Yeah.
category.
Yeah.
What do you think about North Carolina?
5 to 7. Trump
Okay, so he wins it by 5 to 7. What about Georgia?
about the same.
Okay.
6, 7. I'm there.
What about New Mexico?
Mexico is weird. It's near Texas. It's near Arizona. It's got I believe, is the most Hispanic state in the union.
Right, but the thing with that state is that the white vote actually keeps it more Democrat. Like that's what keeps the state so democratic there.
Right, but
The Hispanic vote's the reason why the state's actually trending to the right of Colorado.
and that's what I was going to say. I think it will be closer than it was. Maybe 4 to 5 for Biden. I'd say.
So you think it'll be similar to so you think Colorado's gonna vote in line with New Mexico? Because Colorado
Yeah,
voted like to
I
the
do.
left of it voted to the left of New Mexico by like 3 points. So like
Yeah, but there's these people that are just done with it. They've tried. A lot of people that vote for the left these days are trying to be I don't know, like sympathetic towards a
right,
cause. The cause isn't working.
right,
It's not going to be the same.
right. Okay. What do you think about Arizona?
Arizona 5 or more for Trump.
Okay, so you think it's not gonna even be close. You think he's gonna win it
No,
by a lot?
yeah, 5 or more. I'd say.
What about Nevada?
I say Nevada. Nevada is it's like what's it like a gambling city, then another gambling city with a bunch of stuff in between.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically.
it was always close. I'd say go for Trump for 3 or 4.
Okay. And now we're getting to like the Rust Belt and Nebraska second. What do you think Nebraska second would be?
That's gonna tilt to Trump.
Okay. He's already winning the Electoral College, by the way, with Maine and Nebraska second. That would be hilarious if he like wins Maine, Nebraska second, and all the Sun Belt states, and he already wins the Electoral College. That'd be funny if that happened.
I think it'd be great.
That'd be
I
great.
think it'd be really funny to watch MSNBC the next day. That's what I think.
That'd be hilarious because Biden wouldn't even Trump wouldn't even have to like touch the Rust Belt, and he'd already win the Electoral College already. What do you think about Minnesota?
Minnesota is going to tilt to Republican.
You think it would
It's
tilt?
a stretch. I understand it's a stretch. It's been since '76, but those people love the third parties. Um, St. Paul, Minnesota can't carry it forever, and
Right.
I know people from Minnesota that they just had it
What about
for real.
Wisconsin?
It does. I think it'll be more than Minnesota, but not by much. Maybe 2 or 3 points.
What about Michigan?
That's a 3 to 5 for Trump.
Do you think that he'd win Wisconsin by more than Michigan? Or Michigan more than Wisconsin?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What about Pennsylvania?
About the same as Michigan.
Do you think
Around
Michigan
3 to
and
about
Pennsylvania are going to vote to the right of Wisconsin this time?
yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Wisconsin's got, like, this weird thing. They have that city, Madison, where all the college people go, then no one gives a shit about them. Sorry about the words. But, it's not the feeling in the air right now is that Biden has failed us tremendously, and,
Right.
there's a lot of people that work there just angry, and those are working states. No matter how leftist their colleges are, they're just angry. They don't want any more of it. I mean, me, regardless of how I vote, I feel it, it's just what it is.
Right.
So I think the map you pulled up is fairly accurate from my point of view.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. Well, all right then. Well, this is his electoral map, guys. He has Donald Trump winning 325 electoral. It's literally the only difference between you and me is that I still have Maine going Democrat, but we basically have the same map. And I have Nevada going likely Trump, and the Rust Belt states are a little bit more Republican, and Colorado's more Democrat. But that's about it. And the northeastern states and Oregon are still safe, including like New York, for
But
example.
I don't want you to discount New York's going to swing to the right by 5 to 8 points.
Well, that
I
is
mean,
what my model shows. My model shows New
okay,
York
yeah,
being a 14.5 percentage point win, and Biden won it by 23. So that's like a 9 point shift. So that is what
right.
my model's showing. But since I'm using plus 10 for the safe margin, it's still showing as a safe state, even though if you were to use plus 15, it would theoretically be likely. So
No, I get it. I'm just saying, even the city's starting to turn, man. That's rough in New York.
right. I think Virginia has a shot. I think the states that I think like if Trump has a really good night, if he's really like pulling out here, I think Nebraska's second would be guaranteed to go to him if he had a really good night. I think that more than likely Trump's best case scenario probably would be honestly I think Trump's best case scenario would be 361 because he'd pick up all the swing states plus New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia, Maine at large. He'd pick up New Hampshire, and he'd pick up New Jersey.
I'd really like to see him pick up Jersey and Virginia. I'm just not sure it's time yet.
Right.
Jersey Jersey
Colorado, I'm still really iffy about that one. My election model for the best case scenario has the election at 371 for Trump to 160 set 167 or something. Well, no, actually it does not. Let's see what happens because theoretically, if Trump was, if he gets underestimated in the popular vote by 3, so let's say he gets underestimated in the popular vote by 3 again. So that put him at a 5.7 victory in the popular vote. That would end up being uh, a 10.2 percentage point shift to the right, and the aggregate would still be the same. That puts Trump in a good spot. He wouldn't win Illinois or New Jersey, but he would pick up New Hampshire. He'd pick up New Mexico in this scenario. New York would be a little closer. Virginia would be competitive. Like Virginia would be close. Uh, and let me see New Hampshire. Yeah, he picks up New Hampshire in this scenario. And Maine at large would actually be basically a statistical tie. He barely ends up winning it there. So theoretically, the best case scenario, according as of right now, like if Trump gets the maximum potential polling error, from historical data, this is what the electoral map would end up looking like. He would win 334 electoral votes. Um,
if the polling error applies as it has in the past, he's gonna wreck Biden.
oh no, yeah, for
He's gonna
sure.
slaughter him.
I think he'd honestly, yeah, if the polling error is the same, I think he would honestly wreck Biden for sure. I think he definitely would.
Alrighty, man. Yeah, looks good. I mean,
So yeah. I think right now Trump is extremely favored to win the presidency right now. I just can't see it because Biden in the national aggregate is if Biden on election day was sitting at a plus 8.4 percentage point margin according to RCP. Right now, Trump's ahead by 0.7 and Biden's sitting at 40.5%. On election day, Biden was basically at like 52%. So Biden's polling 12 points lower than where he was beforehand. So now again,
It's one of those things where, polls are nice to look at.
right,
I mean, it's
you
helpful,
right
but
now
they've
again,
been so wrong about this guy for years. It's not there.
right, and now again, Trump is polling at 41.3%. Do I think he's gonna get 41.3? No, I think he's gonna get more than that. Now, do I think he's gonna get 46.7? Probably not because of the large third party vote share with Kennedy. So I think that Kennedy may end up getting a decent amount of vote share. So I don't think Trump might even reach his 46.7% margin. But I don't think Biden's going to hit 50. I think Biden will probably get like 45, 44, 43. Trump maybe gets around there too. So it depends on the scenario. If the national popular vote ends up being tied, according to the model, so like if it ends up being a tied national environment, uh Trump basically still wins with 300, he wins with 312 electoral votes. Basically, he'd win Colorado by 9.5%. New Mexico would be a lean margin. So, New Mexico, according to Mueller, votes 6 points to the left of Colorado. New Hampshire would still be lean. So would Maine at large be as well. New Hampshire is actually closer than Maine at large. Minnesota would be close. It'd be like a 0.6% win for Biden, 5.8 win in Wisconsin for Trump. Pennsylvania 4.7, Michigan 4.2%. So they're kind of voting in line with each other. Georgia and North Carolina would be like a 5-point win and 7.3% respectively. Arizona in this scenario would be a 4.1 percentage point win. Nevada would end up being a 5.9 percentage point win. So Nevada would actually vote to the right of Georgia in this scenario, and Wisconsin, I think actually Wisconsin votes to the right of Oh no, Nevada votes like 0.1% to the right of it. So I think that he is in a pretty good spot. Even if he ties in the national popular vote, he still wins this fairly easily.
I honestly think Biden doesn't have a chance in this election.
Well, I
You
don't
know,
think we should underestimate him either. I don't think that would be the
no,
smart thing to do, but at the same time, Biden's really not looking that great right now. Like
he
he's
just
look
he's a weak man. He looks weak. He's been weak. The economy's in the crapper. He's just it's his states that just won't vote for anything next to a D. He's going to win, but the rest of them, no, he doesn't have a chance. As
right,
far as I mean, at this point, right now, that's what I
right,
see.
right. Well, all right, man. I'm gonna bring in the next caller, so thank you for tuning in to the stream. I greatly appreciate it. If you do have a friend or anybody that has not subscribed yet, tell them because we're literally like 68 subscribers away from 10K, and I might try to hit it today. So just try to help out as much as you can. I would appreciate
Yeah,
it
man.
though.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you're welcome. You have a good one. All right, Tyler Russell is next up. Tyler, are you on the line? I can see that you're muted right now. But hopefully he realizes that I do have him in the call right now.
I'm sorry, hello?
Hey Tyler, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man? Tyler Russell here, Cozy.tv, Future Nation. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm just here right now, going over, just talking about 2024 on the road to
I like it.
10,000 subscribers. So that's mainly what I've been.
That's big, man. Congratulations, man. I hope you hit it. I hope you hit it. God bless you,
Nah, I
man.
appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it.
Thank you. How long have you been subscribed
Um,
for?
about about 2 minutes.
Oh, for real? Oh, so you're one of the new subscribers? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good, man. Thank you, man. I didn't realize you were like
Um,
brand new.
Now listen, I don't know much about you, but I just wanted to know, like, what are your thoughts on the Jews?
Well, I don't really have anything against them, so I don't know if you're trying to bait me or something, but I don't have.
No, no, not bait. I mean, I mean, nothing against like Israel. Do you support Israel?
Okay, to be honest, I have not gone into this whole war thing super in depth. I just want the foreign wars to stop. I want the foreign aid to stop. I don't think there should be a reason for any of this to be happening. From my
Lester,
from
you
my
this is
understanding,
like NPC shit,
it's not
man. Are you
really.
kidding me?
It's not really NPC stuff. You know, the thing
It
the thing is
really is
no,
NPC stuff. Listen,
it's really not.
thoughts on Nicholas J. Fuentes?
I think he's solid. I like Nicholas. I like him.
You like Nicholas J. Fuentes? All right, that's good.
I think he's misunderstood, like Kanye.
Yes, you know what, that's perfect. Listen, Lester, the only thing I can say is you need to start listening to Nick more because I can tell you probably don't know much, but listen, start opening up your mind and seeing what exactly is happening to our country.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I know he
All
goes
right.
into stuff, and I know he was talking about JD Vance possibly being somebody that is going to go in there and fill up the administration. If he becomes the VP, he'd fill up the administration, like, you know, with the swamp again and stuff like that. So I did see that clip. I know he was talking to Sneeko about that. Uh, but that's pretty much all I remember seeing recently. But I think I may check him out more often.
Yeah,
I do
please,
like
dude,
I
honestly.
do like Ye a lot. I like Ye. I think he's very misunderstood. As well. Now again, I don't agree on all
Yeah.
the things that he said. But I think the dude just has mental problems, and I think he really is a misunderstood guy. Um, that's just my opinion. I think he has a really specific way about thinking things. He has a bigger picture, and he probably knows more things than any of us do. So
Mhm.
he probably has a much different view on the world than most people
No,
because of the stuff he
100%.
knows.
No,
So I don't
100%.
really blame him for you know, I don't really blame him
Yeah.
for having some extreme positions. In my opinion, I think they're a little bit outlandish. I think he is quite entertaining though. My favorite Kanye line ever was when the lady tried going up to him with her phone, and he asked her like, does your wife have free will? He literally stole her phone. He was like, "Why would you ask a grown ass man about that? Why would you ask a grown ass superhero that question?" I thought that was so funny. I thought that was genuinely hilarious.
Ye's the man, dude. We love
No,
Ye.
no,
We love Ye.
I thought
We
Ye
love
was,
him.
I thought he was pretty funny. But before you go, I did have the previous caller actually go over their electoral map prediction. So if you have not done that, I would like you to go ahead and do that for the stream so everybody could
I
see.
haven't done that yet.
Uh, I actually have the if you look at my screen on stream, I actually have the map up right now, so like I'll fill it out for you as we keep going. Do you want me to start listing off states and then you'll kind of tell me, or do you just want to look at the map on my screen and then we'll just kind of go from there?
Oh, Lester, I don't want to waste any time, but all I'm gonna say is, listen, go follow Nick on Twitter at Nick J Fuentes. Right? Go follow him on Twitter. He just got back. He just got unbanned
Yes,
by Elon.
yeah, I saw that.
Go watch him on Cozy.tv. Cozy.tv. Start listening. All right.
Okay, all right.
All right, man.
All right. Okay. Alrighty then. Daniel, Bidlack says, what's the number to call in? I don't have a number per se to call in, but I do have a what is it called? I do actually have a Discord server, so if you want to make an account for that, you can go ahead and do that. It is in the link in the description down below. It's a server where all of us talk, and you can kind of hop in the voice chat, and we just kind of call. Out of Sponger says that guy was very strange. Tommy Lee, yes, he was. Commander Emperor, he was a communist. All right. Um, I don't know what that was about. That was interesting. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go ahead and look at this. There's nobody in the voice chat room anymore, so I think the call-in portion of the stream is basically over, but I think I am going to continue because I think I am going to continue the stream because I do want to try my best to get as high as we possibly can. Um, so we are 306 views on stream right now, 28 concurrent viewers, 31 likes. If you guys have not liked the video, please make sure you do like it, 100%. Let me see. Okay. Full-time Uber driver, and I get people smiling at all sorts of conspiracy theories, including NPCs. All right. Let me see something really quick, guys. Um, so I am going to try my best to keep going. We are at 9,932. I probably will end up recording another video after the stream is over. I may record a video, so hopefully we can get there. Maybe if not tomorrow. Um, I did order this MAGA hat. For streams and just in general just to wear it, and I also have my own shirt that I ordered for myself. It's a shirt with my logo on it. On the back it has a QR code that you could subscribe. It's not official merch, it's just for me to have my own personal use for now. Later on when I have a lot more subscribers, that's when I'll do merch. For now I can't really be doing merch or whatever. Let me see. Being from Ohio, I'd be pissed if Vance gets tapped for VP. Don't think it'll happen, but still, we just got him. I mean, yeah, I could understand why people would be upset if they kind of just plucked him out of there. Um, as of right now. So what I'm actually going to do, guys, I'm gonna do this for fun. I'm actually going to poll chat here. I'm actually gonna poll everybody and see where everyone thinks a lot of the swing states are going to end up being. I'm just kind of curious to see where everybody thinks some of the swing states are going to end up being. All the states that are basically within 10 points in the polling data. So even theoretically, New York and Illinois would fall under that. DC, Maryland, a lot of these really don't. New Jersey does fall under this. So does Maine at large. Hawaii technically does as well. So these are all the states that fall within 10 points of margin. So we're going to start with Nevada. So I am going to poll chat here really quick. So you guys can go ahead and answer this question for Nevada. Who do you think will win Nevada? Trump, Biden. So you guys can go ahead and answer that question. As of right now, I am going to wait for a lot of people to answer the poll just so we could get a good sample size from the polling here. We could see Trump is clearly dominating so far as of right now. 7 votes, 8 votes, 70, okay, 8 votes, 10 votes now. We can see that. 11 votes. So Trump is basically, the majority of chat thinks that he's going to win Nevada pretty easily. It seems like we could see here everybody basically thinks he's going to win Nevada pretty easily. So I'm going to put that in his column, and we are going to look at the state of Arizona. Who will win Arizona? So everybody that's new to chat, make sure to go ahead, subscribe if you want to chat in the stream chat. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe as well if you want to tune in for more content like this. I'm going to start a new poll in Arizona. Everybody basically, look at that. Look at Trump. He is killing it in Arizona. Everybody basically has him winning Arizona, no problem. As of right now, with 12 votes in, he is Zach Webster. If you want to go in the description, you can join the Discord server. We have a Discord server with our entire community, and if you want to go ahead and just go into the Discord, there should be a chat where you could kind of join the voice chat, and I'll add you in to the live stream chat, and then you can go ahead and call in as well. So Arizona seems to be a lock. Now I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about Hawaii. Who will win Hawaii? Curious to see because theoretically the polling is within 10, so all right, so Biden, yeah, okay, so basically everybody has Biden winning Hawaii. Nobody thinks Trump could win it. So that's something. So that's going his way. Uh Colorado, who will win Colorado? And go ahead and pull that. So basically most of chat thinks that Biden's just going to win Colorado straight up. Everybody has him just straight up winning Colorado at this point. So I think I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, everybody basically thinks he's going to win Colorado. Now New Mexico, we'll see this. Who will win New Mexico? Okay, so everybody's basically convinced that Biden's going to win New Mexico as well. There's a little bit more of a sizable population that thinks that Trump could win it, but it seems like everybody basically thinks that Trump is basically DOA in New Mexico at this point. So that's interesting. Illinois, who will win Illinois? Trump, Biden. So I want to see the poll for this one. I'm actually kind of curious to see this one. We're going to go ahead and look at the results as they come in. And it seems like Biden's going to have a pretty easy time winning this poll. It seems like everybody's basically under the consensus that Biden's more than likely going to end up winning it. So Biden is basically, most of chat thinks that Biden's going to win Illinois. So that puts Biden at 153 electoral votes practically. Give me 1 second, guys. I am going to send a link to the stream to somebody really quick. So, damn, barely anybody saw the post. Whew. Let me see. All right, guys, give me 1 second. All right, guys. So the next poll I'm going to do is out of the state of Virginia. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one next. Who will win Virginia? Virginia. So let's go ahead and fill that out as of right now. Okay, so it's flip-flopping a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay. I want to wait until most of chat answers this. I want as much of chat as humanly possible to answer this question. There's only around 8 votes, so we're gonna need more people to end up voting here because we do not have enough. Let's see. So basically, 14 votes. Biden's ahead in Virginia. So Biden is slightly favored to win Virginia as of right now. If we go to the poll and we do who will win New Jersey. I'm actually curious to see what you guys think about New Jersey. That's going to be an interesting one to see here. Oh, everybody seems to be pretty confident for Biden on that one, which is interesting. So 12 votes. I could wait a little bit more. However, I think at this point it's basically safe to say that the majority of chat thinks that New Jersey's basically a lock, for Biden at this point. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and do a poll in New York as well. So we'll do who will win New York. So let's go ahead and poll that as well. I'm curious to see what chat thinks about that. Yeah, nobody thinks it's like super duper close either. Everybody kind of has it as like a yeah, so everybody basically thinks Biden's gonna win it for the most part. If we look at who will win New Hampshire. So let's go ahead and fill this out as well. Who wins New Hampshire? Oh, we just gained a subscriber, so we are getting closer and closer to the goal of 10K. We are almost there. We are so, so close. So hopefully we can get a couple more people to subscribe by the end of the night. It seems like the race for New Hampshire is is dead even right now for the most part. It's basically dead even. So, okay, Biden just took the lead there as of right now. Hmm. So 13 votes as of right now. 62% So basically, 2/3 of chat thinks Biden's gonna win that state. Maine, who will win Maine? So let's see what everybody oh, we just gained like 5. We just gained like we just gained like 4 subs really fast. Thank you to whoever just subscribed right now. I just noticed that we literally hit like 4 subs like in literally like not even that long. That was interesting. So we can see when Maine. Oh wow, okay, a lot of chat thinks Trump's gonna win Maine actually. That's interesting. So that puts Trump at 238 electoral votes already. And if we look at Georgia, who will win Georgia? At this point, I'm assuming everybody to basically have him winning Georgia fairly easily. I don't really think that's going to be controversial as of right now. I think everybody's basically going to have him winning it. Let's see. So Trump, yeah, basically 92%. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's basically 92% thinks that Trump's gonna win Georgia at this point. And if we look at, who will win in North Carolina, Trump, Biden, start poll. I'm pretty sure chat's gonna have Trump winning North Carolina. Basically, no problem. Uh, I don't know who is the percent that thinks Biden's gonna win North Carolina, but hey, we just gained another subscriber, 9,938. We are approaching 9,950. We are gonna close, soon enough. We're gonna be only 50 away, and I think if we get close to 50 away, I may try to just duck it out and just stream until like 1 a.m. or something. I don't know. It depends. I'm gonna have to see because I do have work in the morning, so I may have to. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll war game this out. But as of right now, 12 votes. Everyone's basically certain that Trump would win North Carolina. That already gives him the electoral college because he wins Maine. So that would give him the electoral college. So if he'd win all the Sunbelt states with Maine, that actually gets him to 270 already, even without the Rust Belt. That'd be pretty funny, actually. Um, if we look at, Minnesota, or let's actually do who will win Wisconsin. So let's go ahead and fill that out. All right, so basically everybody's confident he's gonna win Wisconsin at this point. Everybody's basically certain on that, so that's good. Who will win Michigan? By the way, guys, the documentary style video of me explaining why Biden or Trump's going to win 2024 is complete. I have yet to see the final draft of the video, but from my understanding, the video is actually complete as of right now. So, just letting you guys know, we did gain another subscriber, so we are almost at 9,940 subscribers. We are almost there. We are extremely close to hitting the 10K mark as of right now. Everybody seems pretty confident Trump wins Michigan at this point in time. If you go ahead and do who will win Pennsylvania, I'm going to assume that more than likely Trump's going to be winning this matchup according to chat as of right now. By the way, guys, if you guys know who Politics Made Simple is, Politics Made Simple is actually about to shout me out like right now. Um, so that's gonna be awesome. So once he goes ahead, he's gonna go ahead and shout me out in the next like 5 minutes or so to kind of see if he could help me get um as much as possible, to 10K. Hopefully we can try to get there tonight. So he is going to help me shout out. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's a guy who posts a lot of political news on YouTube comments, on YouTube community tabs. He posts a lot of, news. I get a lot of my, quit like bit news from there quite a bit. So, if we go ahead and end the poll, basically Trump's basically guaranteed to win Pennsylvania according to chat. If we look at Nebraska's second, who will win Nebraska's second? Trump, Biden. It's actually quite funny because I think that chat's prediction is basically going to match my election prediction, except with Maine at large being added into the column, which is pretty interesting. Why did I get an ad in the middle of a live? Because I have ads running through the live. It's just I have them there. So I apologize if that bothers you, but that's what I have right now. Everybody's actually pretty confident he's gonna win Nebraska's second. It's pretty interesting that everybody's pretty confident he's actually gonna win it. Trump's currently at 100% right now. We are at 9,940 subscribers. We are right there, guys. We are 60 subscribers away from 10K. We are super duper close to 10K subscribers. Guys, if you have a friend that hasn't subscribed yet, please go ahead and tell them to subscribe, just so we could get to 10K today. I would greatly appreciate it. Literally, if we do in the next hour, if we could do 30 subscribers in 1 hour and then 30 subscribers up to like 130, we could get to 10K subscribers. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys could tell a friend to tune in or just even hit the subscribe button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It seems like everybody's pretty confident in Nebraska's second district. That puts it in the Republican column. And the last state here is going to be Minnesota. Who will win Minnesota? Trump, Biden. So let's go ahead and look at that as of right now. We're going to see the polling out of here. Everybody, oh wow. Everyone's pretty confident Trump's going to win Minnesota. Oh wow, that's interesting. I wish there was more people in here so I could see a bigger sample size, but that's great actually. Um that is pretty interesting. I actually just read a take. Um wow, that actually be insane. Because a lot of people are thinking that the reason why they're trying to do the debate so early, before the party nominations, is so that Trump, like if Biden does bad in the debate, they would like replace him at the national convention. That's what people are thinking it's going to be, which that's pretty plausible. I'm not going to lie. That would be interesting. However, if the incumbent president's not running, Trump's probably guaranteed to win the election at that point. And it seems like everyone's also pretty confident he's going to win Arizona, um, which is interesting, or Minnesota. That puts him at 325 electoral votes. Basically, this matches my prediction, except Maine at large. I still have Maine at large Democrat, but uh, this is basically what I have for my current election prediction. Uh, I don't think Biden's going to be replaced. I don't think it's likely, but I think it could be possible depending on, the scenarios that we're looking at. Just to keep you guys like entertained, um, what I am actually going to do to keep you guys entertained is I'm actually going to look at the polling data over the years developing into the 2024 cycle just to show you guys where the election could have been, many, many months ago. Um, at this point in time, if you apply no polling data into the model, it actually has Trump winning all the swing states automatically, which is pretty interesting. DC does get more Democrat. Colorado is like a point less. California is a couple points less. So the states do trend Republican just by themselves. A lot of states end up trending Republican. And Vermont, I think, actually gets more Democrat, or it's like slightly less Democratic than the last cycle. Virginia gets closer. Wisconsin flips. So everything basically trends Republican at that point. But what I am going to focus on here is I'm going to be going over the polling data from, back then to kind of see where the race would have been, a couple, years back even. So if we go back to 2021, right? And what I might actually do is I might actually download this to go ahead and actually see, because maybe this might be a little bit better to look at. But actually, I just realized you guys might not be able to even see it because I don't have my screen on Excel, so maybe not. Maybe I am gonna have to keep going down on here, but if we keep going, we're going to see some of these national polls. And by the way, the polling in the individual swing states would look a little bit different, per se, depending on what you were looking at. Damn. Okay, there goes more polls. This is going back to like 2023. Um, I'm trying to go all the way down to like 2021 essentially. And this is kind of giving me a hard time. I don't know why. But this is like 2023. At this point, there was already a lot of polling coming out of the electorate already as of right now. We could see 9,940 still. We got about 25 people in chat, which is great. Really appreciative if you guys are watching at this time. 2023 still 2023 polling. Biden was up on DeSantis by 12 points with Trump as a third party candidate. That's really interesting, actually. That is super interesting. Um, this scenario, DeSantis was performing the best, but a lot of undecideds. Trump in this poll was performing the best um, around here, which is quite interesting that they polled these certain days. That's really odd. Pence had it even. Biden was leading Scott by a lot, which is quite interesting as well. We're going to be ending 2023 here um, as we keep going down. Um, but basically, I'm going to show you guys like what the model would have projected back then, and now we're going back to like 2022. Once we get below the midterms, we're going to see that it's going to be a lot different. There's going to be way less polling once we get past 2022. You see, they were even polling back then. Even back then, they were polling, and Trump was already looking good. with polling in like 2022. He was already looking pretty great. But there was a lot less polling back then. You can see I'm actually going through this fairly quickly here. I'm already in February of 2022, and now I'm already in January, and we're already back in 2021. You're going to see this is going to be over fairly quickly. We're going to get to, April here pretty fast. You see May's already here, and at that point, we're already in April. And so basically, all of April, if you look at this, Biden was ahead of Haley 25, ahead of DeSantis by 16, ahead of Cruz by 22, and ahead of Trump by 17, by 12, by 10, by 13, and, by 12, by 10. So if you were to average out those polls from, July, if you were to average all those out, it looks like a crazy lead. Like it looks like it's almost not real. But unfortunately, here's the thing: incumbent presidents usually tend to do better, during the beginning of their term. They usually kind of have a honeymoon phase that puts Biden ahead in the aggregate by 12.3% in the beginning of 2021. You could already see this is looking pretty bad for Trump already. Alaska's already going blue according to the model. This shifts the election from 2020, 7.8% to the left. And if we look at Biden's approval rating at the time, we're going to go sort of to the middle here of the approval rating as of right now. But basically, from, April all the way to like July, he kind of had an average of like being ahead by around, basically 12 points essentially. So he's basically up by 12 as of right now. He was pretty much up by 12 points um in at the state nationally. So that puts him in a really good position. He's winning Florida by 7, Alaska by almost 5. He's losing Indiana by 2. Kansas, he wins it by a tilt margin. Louisiana. So yeah, this is not looking great for Trump at all. Actually, this is looking really bad for him. And if we look at the approval ratings of Biden, he was sitting at around 54% in May, kind of the middle point. You could even say the beginning of June. So 53.3, for example, was sitting at that percentage margin at that point. And if we look at Trump's approval, Trump favorability RCP, if we were to go there and look at, his approval rating, at that exact moment, if we were to go to June 1st of, that year, we'll see he's sitting at 41%. So that would have ended up possibly giving an exact 12.3%. So polling would have been pretty accurate at that point, which is interesting. Polling would have been pretty spot on to the aggregate if this would have ended up being the actual popular vote. So now we're going to fill out the electoral map based on everything that is occurring there. And it is not a pretty picture for Trump at all. Trump actually would have lost pretty badly in the beginning of 2021. You'll see that even some states that are usually, safe, I'm not even filling them in as safe because I don't even know what they'd be at this point. Iowa and Ohio, Iowa would be likely. Missouri at this point would still be safe, as well as Montana. Utah would still be a safe Republican state at this point in time. If we look at, Ohio, it's a lean margin, which is a really bad look. If we go to Indiana, he's ahead by 15, so he's actually ahead in Indiana by quite a bit, but he still would have been pretty doomed, at that point. South Carolina would have been a 7.4 percentage point victory for Trump at that point. Virginia would have been safe. Like a lot of the Democratic states that were already safe are basically going to be safe again. Like it's not really it's not a a mystical, oh my God, there's no way. Maine at large would be a 12-point victory for Biden. Maine second would be a 5-point win for Trump. Illinois would obviously be safe. Nebraska at large, Nebraska's first, that'd be safe. And we're coming into sort of these states here really quick. Alaska would be a 5-point win for Trump. He'd win it by around 5. At that point, Arizona would be a 7.2 percentage point victory for Biden, and Georgia would end up being a 7.2 victory as well. So they'd vote pretty in line with each other in this electoral college scenario. North Carolina would end up voting as a lean margin for Biden, 4 points. Nebraska second would be safe for Biden. Minnesota in this scenario would be a 10-point victory. So it actually would end up being safe, which is pretty insane. 9,942 subscribers away from 10,000. And we're coming into the last couple of states here. Nevada, in the scenario, would have been a likely margin 5.8% for Biden. Wisconsin would have been a lean margin for Biden in this scenario. We would have looked at a Michigan 6.3% for Biden, and Pennsylvania we would have seen, end up being a 5.8 percentage point victory for him. And Texas would have ended up being a lean margin for Biden, and Florida would have barely ended up flipping into the Biden column, which would have given Biden 389 electoral votes to Trump's 149. So the polling data from back then would have looked pretty bad. Now, my personal predictions, again, because now my model factors in personal predictions, so these are swaying the model quite a bit, to the right. Like at this point, I probably in 2021, I would have suspected that Florida probably would have been a 5-point win. So you see how that shifts the margin to like lean Democrat. So the map, I think, would have looked a lot worse for Trump in this scenario. I think that like states like Montana, Missouri would have been competitive. Iowa, a lot of states would have been, a lot closer. But this is probably what we would have been looking at as of right now. Biden's worst case scenario for 2024, according to LTE, literally, that's basically what LTE has. If we look at polling data from 2022, from the beginning of 2022, Trump's in a way better spot, compared to what he would have been here. Way better spot. This would have been a really bad year for Trump to run. If the election was held in 2021, it would have been a really bad look for him. If we go all the way to January, we're going to see that Trump actually has a lot of polls here. Trump is in fact up in multiple polls, up by 3-1, down by 8-1. The polling is a little bit more fluctuating. There is a tied poll here. Biden up by 4, which is quite. Oh, actually, he's up by 3 with more registered voters. Biden up by 6. Uh, then Trump's up by 2, up by 3, up by 6, up by 4, or well, by 4, I guess. Then by 3, then he's up 5. So the polling was really fluctuating at this point. It was really fluctuating for some reason. Biden -1, Trump +3, Trump +5, Biden +2. The polling was all over the place here, guys. It was all over. It was a disaster. Like the polling was looking super, super strange here. +3, +1, and then +3, -1, +5. So there's a lot of polling here, but essentially ends up averaging out to this. And if you look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that basically ends up giving Biden a tied national environment. At that point, it ended up being tied. And right now, 0. plus 0.15, that's just the election 4.65 points to the right. And if we look at his national approval rating, at that point, Trump's favorability at this point, well, let's look at Biden's first, just to kind of get an idea of where we would have been at that point. As of at that point, so basically, literally at the beginning of January, Biden would have been down by minus 10.6 percentage points. So 10.6. So you could see there, it's getting a lot worse for Trump, or for Biden, excuse me. It's getting a lot worse for him. He's down by 10 points nationally. And if we look at the projected popular vote, we would have been able to deduce that Biden would have been sitting at around, basically, would have been sitting at around 43%. Trump, on the other hand, would have been sitting on 40.6%. And let's look again here. 40.6, 40.3. So 43.1 minus 40.6 is 2.5. So Biden would have been ahead in the aggregate by minus 2.5, but that still shifts the election to the right by a couple of votes. It actually shifts it to the right by exactly 2. So Biden probably would have won the popular vote by like 2.5 points or so. The aggregate would have had Biden ahead as of right now, and Trump still wins the electoral college. Trump would have already been winning the electoral college. Even in this scenario, he would already be ahead winning. You would see states like, Iowa, be, safe Republican, Ohio be safe Republican in this scenario. You'd see Texas be, likely Republican. You'd see Florida being likely Republican as well. If we looked at South Carolina, we'd actually see that Trump is ahead by 16.5%. Washington, Oregon, these are still big victories. A lot of these are still big wins. Basically, all of these states are going to be safe Democrat. As of right now, I don't really suspect them to change their voting patterns like that. Virginia would be a 6 point victory for Biden. Colorado, in the scenario, would still be over 10 points. New Mexico would be a 5.7 victory for the incumbent president. New Hampshire, in this electoral college scenario, would have been a 4.1 percentage point win. Minnesota would be around a 2 point victory. As of right now, Maine's second would be safe. Maine's first would end up also being safe as well, with Maine at large being like a 4.3 percentage point win. Nebraska's second would also be a Democratic margin. As of right now, and we come to the traditional swing states, North Carolina would have ended up being an exactly 5 point win. Pennsylvania would have been lean. Georgia would end up going a lean in the Republican column. Arizona would have also been a state that had the polling looking really, really good there. Nevada would have been a 3.5 point win already. Wisconsin would have been a 3.7 win. And Michigan would have ended up being a 2.1 percentage point victory according to the model. So you would have had, Trump doing pretty well. He basically would have just taken all of the swing states back um, from the incumbent president plus Nevada, and he would have had a pretty decent victory in the electoral college as of right now. And we could see that the comments we could see in Chad back back then in my state of Iowa area, the college kids hated Trump. Right now, the college kids in the same area are trending towards Trump from what I've been hearing from them. Well, that's pretty interesting. That's a good sign. Senate predictions. LT is pretty sure Biden's going to win the election by 1 point in Michigan. Funny enough, Trump actually, he actually has Trump up in Michigan. He actually has Trump losing Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Funny enough, which is really weird. I don't know why I don't know why that'd be the case, but I mean, it is what it is. I just think that's really unusual, that would be the scenario that we'd be in, but we are here now. Let me check. Let me see. Oh, wow. Wow, that's insane. Nate Silver actually had a good political take. That's interesting. Wow. That is really interesting, actually. Huh. I did not think he'd actually have a base take. So guys, currently, Politics Made Simple did actually end up, he did actually end up making the post, guys. So I do appreciate him for doing that. Um, for me, I think that'd be great. I think that was great. That is gonna help with the momentum a tiny bit for us to get to that subscriber count that I want to be getting to. And we can see at the debate, I am imagining Biden just mumble and wouldn't have any idea of what he's saying. Well, I don't think he's gonna do. I think they're gonna give him whatever they're gonna need to give him in order for him to not falter that badly. But at the same time, I don't think he's gonna do good enough to kind of fix his reputation. I don't really think it's going to be to that extent, per se. Right now for the Senate, I kind of have all these states basically going safe Republican. I think these are really not even a problem. And yes, I have Montana and Ohio going safe because guys, if Ohio is like like guys, if here's the thing, if right now Donald Trump is currently up in the aggregate by this much, like if he's up in Ohio by 16 points, I cannot see Moreno underrunning him by 10. I just can't. Like, I can't see it. Even in Florida, for example, in Texas, may even be safe Senate seats because they're expected to be 13-point victories according to the model. And if Montana is going to be a 25-point victory for Trump, I can't see John Tester outrunning the ticket by 20 points to make it likely Republican, even or even more than that. I just can't. I really cannot see it at all. It's not there. Now, what's interesting is Washington is within, it's a 12-point state nationally, and the Senate race is within a couple points. So I think that that could actually be likely. I think Hawaii would be safe. I think Minnesota would be likely just because of the fact that Klobuchar's there. I think Delaware would be safe. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Jersey, I think could become competitive depending on the nominee. And since the state is going to be closer on the federal level this time, I do suspect it probably end up going lean. And technically, I have Minnesota going to Trump, but I have Klobuchar probably winning by around 6 or 7 points at this point. I think New York would probably still be safe on the Senate level. Maryland, I still think it's under 10. I think Hogan is probably going to pull off a surprise and get a decent amount of the electorate. I think he probably ends up getting around, 40 something percent. Also, Brooks is the weaker candidate to run. I think California probably ends up going a safe Democrat. New Mexico is interesting because they're running an electoral juggernaut. They're running their daughter in the state, so that state may be under 5. And if Trump's coming close to winning it, then maybe it is really going to be under 5 points. And if Trump's really winning Wisconsin by 7.2%, I expect him to win Wisconsin. I expect him to win Michigan on the Senate level. I think Arizona would flip, Nevada would flip. I think Maine would probably end up staying likely just because Angus King is fairly popular there. I think Virginia would end up getting close. Now, Pennsylvania is interesting because I think even if Trump's winning the state by quite a bit, it is a little bit hard to call, but I would say it would flip just because if Trump's really winning it by quite a bit, it would probably, end up flipping. So that is basically it for my Senate prediction. That was kind of a, base, kind of run of, the states as of right now. My membership to this channel expires tomorrow. I should be able to get it in a couple weeks though. That's okay. Don't even worry about it. To be honest, I haven't been following through with the membership stuff. I really need to get better about that. I may end up resetting them and kind of creating new tiers for those. That's what I might end up doing actually. So don't even worry about it. If I do end up canceling those, everybody will be refunded for their memberships. Um, just because I haven't been able to keep up with some of the responsibilities with some of those things. So, but guys, I think I am going to be ending off the stream here. It is getting pretty late. I have to wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So it is getting really late now. So I am gonna have to do another, road to 10K stream tomorrow. I might have to record a video right now for tomorrow. So if you guys did enjoy this, please hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure to follow the Twitter and join the Discord in the description down below. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Hopefully tomorrow we hit 10K because we are really close to hitting it. We're super duper close.